Good evening. Good evening. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm gonna give it a second, just make sure. I do have some bad news. No sneak peek of the new store tonight. Excuse me, only because I did not plan appropriately and I don't have internet at my new store. So I am filming from home tonight. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my, okay, I sent the family away. I was like, I can't have the kids running around everywhere. So, they are off to my in-laws and yeah, we're ready to go, ready for the live tonight. So this evening we are going to run the first day, last day of school banner. I will tell you, I'm supposed to have internet installed tomorrow. So any orders placed, they will start shipping out hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. And I'm very excited to show you guys. Make sure you follow my business page because I will be posting some reels and stuff over there. So make sure you go and follow Crafty Midwestern Mommy. That way you can see sneak peeks that way. And then of course we will be back live there in 2 weeks. So we are going to make the first day, last day of school banner. It looks like a pencil. I am going to run it this evening in vinyl. So let me show you that really quick. So I did the word of for us already. So that's what we're going to make. These other ones I used felt and cotton. This is felt with cotton woven over the top of it as the appliques using heat and bond. The other one is yellow canvas that I used cotton woven for the applique. So there are lots of options to use for this. I will tell you that these banners I have used since Blaine, my oldest, was in first or second grade. Macy was in preschool, and she's a second grader. No, she's in third grade this year. So we've definitely got our use out of them. I'm going to switch to the vinyl ones so that way it lasts even longer. And then they match. So I made it in the process of the year that I was pregnant with Jet and like having him. And so that's why they don't match, because I made this one at my mom's house because that's where I was staying at the time while we were in the middle of our move and everything. And then I made this one closer to the end of the school year. So we're going to finally have one that's going to match. And then here is your sneak peek for this one. So we're going to show you here. This is your sneak peek for the week. These are little quilt block charms. So all different styles of quilt blocks. I think these are so stinking cute and they run super quick. So I just made a whole set of them before leaving today. Yes, Lisa, I keep meaning to pull it and I keep, and then just like print your label at home and I keep forgetting. So I'm so sorry, but I promise it's going to go out on, what is today, Tuesday? It'll go out definitely by Thursday, if not tomorrow. Okay, so I apologize for that. So now that you see what we're doing, you got your sneak peek. Let me get, as you can see, I didn't have it prepped. Well, depending on time, I'll either do both first day and school, or we'll just run one so you can kind of see how it goes. Let me move you back to here so I can move, this camera to here. Be interesting. I've never filmed from my single needle, so this is a learning curve for me. Ooh, this is good. I like this. Okay, let's see. I know Jen always turns off her overhead light to try and, so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Oh, sorry. I totally switched to that camera, so now I made you all sick. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run step 1, which is always our placement stitch. So obviously tonight we're running on the domestic machine. So this is my Bernina 770. Okay, so we have our placement line. I'm going to take my vinyl, my yellow vinyl, and I'm going to lay that piece down first. And then it's going to do the detail stitch of the lines in the pencil. I know. I actually used the machine at the shop for the first time today in probably an entire week, and it felt good, but it also felt really weird, but I was excited to get it back up and going. The new store is so spacious, and it's just, there's a whole separate area for all of the production. I have my own office with a door. It's just, it still seems a little surreal. Oh, my thread's caught. There it goes. Switch to black thread for the tip of the pencil. Does a nice little sketch stitch and then does a satin around the edge of it. Good evening, Mary. I'm going to switch the camera view for a second and see if I can get a better angle for y'all. I like that. There you go. Okay, now it's going to do the applique for the wooden part, so I'm still going to just keep my black thread in there. I'm going to use a piece of Sally Tomatoes cork. It's just the natural cork for the wood piece. So there's that. Just make sure all of that placement line is covered up. And then we're going to cut this just like an applique. Still using black because it's just tacking it down. I'll make sure I change my thread. for the next step. Yeah, you can see the whole hoop now. Alrighty. First I'm going to change the thread so I don't forget. I don't know why I closed all these threads up after the first one, like I wasn't going to use them again 3 times. Awesome. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do this to the tabletop so we can see what we're doing here. Which way? Yeah, that's the right way. I feel a little out of whack. Not on my A game today. I will warn you that when you trim the wooden piece, make sure that you are very careful with your lines to your pencil. I know it's kind of hard to see right now, but they're really big stitches, and so your scissors can really easily catch and then end up clipping that little detail stitch. So just make sure you really take the time to make sure the tip of your scissors doesn't catch on those, because I've definitely done that more times than not. And just, you know, I like to just use the word school for the last piece of the banner, but Jen does have an option for the different grades as well. So just know that that is an option to where you could do first day of and then update it for each school year. I know that's what Jen does with Parker. I would always be scrambling to make the correct year, even with 4 kiddos, because that would be that many more pieces that I have to keep track of. All right, so back to the machine. Slide this guy back on there. Okay, so now we're gonna do the satin around the wood. Good evening, Crystal. We're stitching from home tonight because I don't have internet at the storefront yet. And I do have 2 big fancy machines here too, but I figured it would be a fun change of pace to do. Use the domestic machine. I know, and I even have this one cranked up all the way. might only make it through one banner piece. I'm not used to it being this slow. Roll. Alright, so I'm going to use the same brown and do the applique placement for the eraser piece. Same thing, I'm not going to change my thread just yet. I'm going to do the applique, tack it down, and then I'll change my thread. Seeing as I don't, like, it normally doesn't matter to me because it's on the multi-needle, but like for y'all who always use a domestic, is that, do you use the last color for your applique placement and tack down, or do you use the color that you're going to be using as your applique placement and tack down? Curious minds. Oh, come on. It's okay, Donna. You're totally fine. We haven't gotten very far because we're using the domestic machine tonight, and I'm on the struggle bus because I forgot how slow this bad boy was. Trimming this applique. So this banner piece is a little bit different than some of the other ones. Typically, if a color goes all the way to the edge of the banner, we don't trim it because that's like the edge of the banner. But with this one, it does a satin stitch around all of the appliques. So we need to trim it all rather than leaving it long. So I didn't cut the bottom of the eraser part perfectly because that's going to be covered up by silver. So get this bad boy back on there and do the satin around the eraser. I'll use the color for the satin stitching. See, Crystal, me too. Me too. I think the only time that it would really matter is if you were doing a like zigzag or blanket applique, because then you're gonna see that stitch. But with satin, it doesn't matter. So I'm like, I ain't changing that thread until I have to. Ain't nobody gonna see it. Alright, and then we're going to do the placement for, oh, come on. For the silver. And I have no idea. Just a standard embroidery needle. I feel like it's probably just a 70-10. Probably wasn't the most reassuring answer, but I don't know. I am one of those terrible people that I don't change my needle unless it breaks. Take the pink out. I'm actually using metallic silver for the silver part because, well, it's just fun. And my machine doesn't hate this metallic thread, so I'm just gonna go with it. Again, when you're trimming the silver, make sure that you don't accidentally clip those detail stitches for the lines on your pencil. All right, put this back on the machine. Oh, 7511, there you go. I was gonna say, some people suggest a 90 when you're doing vinyl. I never have an issue. I feel like even on the big machine, we run 7511s. The only time my husband changes to 90s is when we are running hats. And they're like structured hats and they're, you know, a little more cantankerous. Oh my gosh, this silver looks so good. It like literally matches it perfectly. You see that? Ah, that makes sense. It's really, I don't see the difference of the 90 hole, the hole being bigger on the 90. You would need to worry about that if you were using like a cheap vinyl that tears really easily. I'd be careful with it then, but I honestly think it really just comes down to your machine. It's just like thread. Some machines will literally only run one particular brand of thread. So it all just comes down to the machine. Like I said, I'm a terrible person. I don't change my needle unless it breaks. And I don't really know what I'm putting back in it when it does break. We've almost made it all the way around for the silver. And then the next step is going to be the words on the front. I believe I loaded first day, maybe last day. I can't remember now. When I got my Ruby 92 years old. There you go. Like, I mean, whatever your machine seems to like. So, my mom always asks me about needles too, and I'm like, I don't know. Alright, so switching to black thread. And we're gonna run the words last day. I figured you're gonna need last day if you're making them now before you're gonna need first day. Live and learn, live and learn. If I remember correctly, this font is not able to be digitized as an alphabet. So that's why Jen created like the different grade levels, because she's not able to sell like the actual thing. But you could always switch it up if you wanted to customize it, just change each of them to the font so they all matched. And I believe Amanda just did a blog post on adding and removing embroidery using Embrilliance. I could be wrong on that, but I think she did. I think she did. Perfect. I thought so. I thought so. Oh, womp womp. Out of bobbin. Luckily, I had another one wound. I'm gonna go back a few stitches. I just put a black bobbin in because it's what I had wound, because I don't have a white one wound, but I'm gonna line a white one for the back side. I actually like to use a cream. That's what I'm gonna bobbin while it's sewing or not. Let's find out. Oh, I can. How fancy is that? Talk about multitasking. Love it. See, sometimes it's just the little things in life. Boom, full bobbin. I honestly don't think you can use pre-wound on this brand. They have these special bobbins that have these like shiny things on them. So, but I mean, look, I mean, I just did that full bobbin in like, what was that, maybe 30 seconds? So, I mean, I didn't even let it wind all the way. I didn't let it stop on its own. I stopped it, so it's technically not a full bobbin, but you know, I'm impatient. For my industrial, for the big girls, I definitely use pre-wounds. Those magnet ones are the only way to go. Beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna change my bobbin back to the lighter color. Okay. And so then we're gonna do the 2 holes for our banner piece. So I am not putting the backing on just yet. I'm still only stitching on the top. I'm gonna take my black out and rethread our yellow. Okay, so we're gonna do the 2 lines for our banner hole opening. Yes, Crystal, you cannot get the magnetic ones in backwards. That's so true. That's like these ones too. There's that little silver thing. It has to go one direction, so you can't mess those up either. All right, so now we have our opening for the banner. So I'm gonna take my other piece of vinyl, right side facing down at the throat of my machine, and I am lazy and I don't want to take the hoop off, so I just slide it under because I know my piece is plenty big enough. And then I'm just gonna go around the outer edge, skipping those 2 lines that we just did. There is a weird stop here, and I need to show that to Jen. I think it's like that on all of the pieces. It doesn't do anything. It's just like weird. It almost like ties off, but never cuts the thread. I don't know. So I need to mention that to her. I think it's just a digitizing error. I don't think it's anything. It doesn't affect the design in any way. So it is on everyone. I know. So I just, Crystal, if you think about it, you can shoot her over an email and just say, hey, during the video tonight we noticed, and you've made like a bajillion of them, so you can just say too, like at the top of every pencil on the final stitch, it does a weird little slow down stitch. As this finishes up, I'm going to turn the lights back on so that we can go back to the tabletop. This guy. Go here. I'm going to clip off these few jump stitches. All right, and then I always like to turn it over to the back side. Double check that you didn't mess up or fold over your back. Clip off these little knotted strands. I didn't talk about this. I used tearaway for this banner, especially with using vinyl. You have plenty of structure to it that you don't need the added stability of cutaway. So I'm just gonna tear it out. It did so nice until that last little spot there. Okay, and then I will just take my nice sharp scissors. You can tell I'm at home because I have my Fiskars and not my Kai scissors. And I'm just gonna cut about a 1/16 of an inch away from that outer edge. With it being mostly straight edges, you could definitely use a rotary cutter, you know, to cut the majority and then just round the corners of the pencil if you wanted. All right. There we have our finished piece. Then I'm gonna grab my purple thing. I know that we don't have the word school done, but just for video purposes, I want to show you how we thread them up. Find a piece of yarn or something. Oh my goodness. Okie dokie. This little tool, if you have not used this before, is like the greatest invention I have ever seen. So it's like a pushing tool to like feed under your machine so you're not using your finger. It is a creasing, like it can crease folds and stuff like that. And then this handy dandy little hole here makes it be a like jumbo needle so that you can thread up your banners super duper easy. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just saying, like, so quick and easy. And this little guy, $3, $3.50 or something on my website. So literally type in the word purple and it'll come up. And yeah, greatest invention ever. Also, this is 1/4 of an inch. So if you're a quilter and you're doing 1/4 seam allowance, the little inch shows you that. So there you have it. Like, how easy is that? Anybody else like try to do it with their fingers and then your fingers get stuck and oh yeah. So there you have it. It literally took us a whole hour to do one. This is why we use the fast machine. But I will run the word school as well, so that way my kiddos have a new banner. But they multiply. Well, I mean, when they're $3, I mean, you should probably have one in every pencil holder and little cup all around your sewing room, if you want my personal opinion. But there you have it. Cute little last day of school banner. Don't forget, this week's release on Friday includes these fun little quilt block charms, which I'm obsessed with. I made them in my store colors and like, oh, they're just so cute. So cute. But yeah, there you have it. In 2 weeks, I promise we will be streaming from the storefront, and I will show you all around then. And if you want to see, if you can't wait 2 weeks and you want to see later this week, be sure to go give Crafty Midwestern Mommy a follow on Facebook, so that way you can see that. So I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate your flexibility and understanding shooting from home this evening. Here, I'll show you guys. I literally have an entire studio here in my house. It's the front room of my house, so like right there's our staircase to go upstairs to the kids' bedrooms and stuff. But I appreciate your flexibility, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Remember, Jen posts a recorded video on the off weeks that I'm not live. So next Tuesday will be a recorded video, and the following week I will be back live. So I appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're getting bad weather, please be safe. We have like 90-degree weather this week and sunshine, so it's gonna feel like summertime. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.